So on this one, we can do substitution or elimination because that y is by itself. But let's go ahead and do elimination here. So if we multiply that top equation by -4 then, oh, actually, never mind. If we just add these two together, we notice that the 4's cancel. So we're going to add those two together. Our 4's x's, our x terms are gone. So we have a -1y equals then 1, dividing by -1, dividing by -1. So we know y equals -1. And because this is a point of intersection, it has to work in both of those equations. So we go ahead and put that back in then. So if we put that back into whichever equation we want, so if I have into the second equation there, I'll have 4x minus 2 times -1 equals 6. So I'll have 4x plus 2 equals 6. Minus the 2, I'll have 4x equals 4. Divide by 4, x equals 1. A quick look then as we plug that back in, if we put in a y as -1 and x as a +1, we see that we have 4 times -1 for a -4 minus 1 or plus a -1. That equals -5. That checks. We've got 4 times 1 for a 4 plus 2. Does that equal 6? And that checks.
Yeah.
So what we want to do here is go ahead and get these into, that ax plus by equals c form. So if we go ahead and distribute on the top there, we'll have a -4x plus 8 equals 3y. And I'm going to go ahead and get x and y on the same side, so I'm going to add 4x. I'm going to add 4x. So I have 8 equals 4x plus 3y. And then I've got that 2x minus 2y. So 2x minus 2y equals a -3. So my thought here is we can either eliminate the x's or the y's. We can either go for 8, and I need an opposite sign then. I need both those coefficients to be 8 with an opposite sign. Or, kind of the analogy as a common denominator between 2 and 3 would be 6, and I already have opposite signs there. So I'm going to go to eliminate the y's, which means I want both those coefficients to be 6's. And the only reason I chose that is because they already have opposite signs. So let's go ahead then and multiply that top equation by what there then? Well, if I want that 3 to be a 6, I'll multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. So my new top equation then is 16 equals 8x plus 3y. On the bottom then, I need to multiply by what there? I want that to be a 6. I want that y coefficient to be a 6, and it'll be a -6. If I multiply by a +3 then, my new equation is -9 equals 6x minus 6y, and that should be a 6y up here, shouldn't it? So if we add these two equations together then, I'll have, what there, a 7, 16 minus 9 is 7, equals 14x. My y's have canceled. I'm glad I wrote that right. And if I divide both of those by 14, I know that I'll have 1/2 then equaling x. So if x is 1/2, then I need to put that back into one of the equations to find y. So what I'm going to do is put that back into the second equation. So I'll have 2 times 1/2 minus 2y equals negative 3. So 2 times 1/2 is just 1 minus 2y equals negative 3 minus 1 minus 1. So I'll have a negative 2y equals negative 4. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. So I know y equals 2. So as a point, and the answer does need to be expressed as a point, I don't think I did that on the last one, we'll have 1/2 and 2 as our point. So let me know if you still have questions on this, Brian.